welcome to the British Racing Sports Car Club's Mazda MX-5 Championship. Huge grids, wheel-to-wheel action, a great calendar makes for a fantastic season of affordable motorsport.
Thank you very much, Jake. It's Duncan Vincent here in the commentary box, and looking forward to a full season of Mazda MX-5 racing. And we're at Rockingham for round one, and pole position for this race sees 88 JJ Clements, Johnathan JJ Clements on pole position from Chris Hart. Row 2 is Atherton and Tucker. Keep your eyes on those two guys, extremely quick. Not a lot separating them in qualifying. Then we've got Hughes and Roberts, with Evans and John Killer Kinghorn 8th on the grid. Josh Van Hook and Matteo Scipione, with Tony Liversidge and Chris Evans. Now keep your eyes on this. This is where we're going to start getting the revs racing through the roofs. And MX-5 racing is just about to happen here at Rockingham. Keep your eyes. Can Clements get a good jump on the left-hand side front row from Hart? Who's going to lead as they come in towards the ovals? Turn one, and away they go. It's a good start from the second row, actually. A complete nightmare of a start from the front row there. They both bogged down, and Clements has dropped back into the pack, and it looks like it's Tucker who is leading from the head here. Paul Tucker in the red and white striped car leads through turn one at Rockingham down towards the Dean hairpin for the first time of asking, and that was just a bit of a nightmare start there as everybody jockeys for position there. We can see that's Hart in the blue sided car with the blue nose in third position, just behind Atherton just now in the number 6 car. So a disastrous start. Let's pick up on that for JJ Clements. It just looked like he purely bogged down. There's the blue car going around the outside of the number 142 car, which is Tony Liversidge, so he's dropped way down the field. Now can he make the comeback? Can JJ Clements come back from this one? It's going to be a tall order because the MX-5 races, yeah, they're about 20 minutes long, but they are absolutely frantic races. You do not get much of a time, unless you're Tom Roche, to relax in these championship races. But the cars for the first lap are just making their way round this tricky Rockingham circuit. You can see in the background the big super speedway oval made very famous here with the IndyCar races we've had, but Hart goes up the inside. It's a good move by Chris Hart there, and he gets past, and he'll be quite happy with that. Runs just a little bit wide over the exit curve, but that's good. A good clean bit of driving there. He'll be happy with that. And Atherton's under all sorts of pressure now as he's got all these cars behind him, and it looks like a couple of them trying to go up the inside, including number 38, that's Killer Kinghorn there. Don't quite know how John gets that name. Maybe it's something to do with the gearbox or the engine of the car, or maybe how he treats the stewards in race control. But John Kinghorn there was another man on the move. And we also saw JJ Clements coming into action now in the blue car, third in line here. Now can Clements get back to the front? He's going to be trying very hard. He tries to cut nice and tight underneath Atherton there. Oh, and there's a bit of a problem. And Atherton goes in the high side, Clements goes underneath, and Clements has done a really good move there. He's made up 2 or 3 positions in 2 corners now. As you can see, the leader's stretching away at the front. But Atherton hangs it out on the high side through turn number 1 as Clements hits the apron, goes below that white line, gets flat onto the apron, and these little 1600cc Mazdas are absolutely flat as Kinghorn looks to go up the inside, but Clements goes back onto the outside. Now has Kinghorn come up the inside? There's a huge slide by JJ Clements, showing us absolute flamboyant driving style and great car control there in the blue number 88 car. Well, that was really quite good. Nice, lovely bit of opposite lock through the Dean hairpin there. Didn't seem to slow him down at all. So that's quite a nice style that JJ Clements hangs out through the Dean hairpin. But he has got John Kinghorn all over the back of him as we go past the Blendini Motorsports trailer in the background. And then it's Tony Liversidge in one of the cars, number 142 car also. And things just starting to pick up there as our Scipione just drives past as well in the number 35 car. Matteo will keep our eyes on him because he is making good pace on this second lap here at Rockingham. Runs a little bit wide just out of that corner, but we can see the leaders are away at the front there as Kinghorn looks to go up the inside, but Kinghorn thinks better of it. He gives Atherton just that little bit of breathing space as they have a little bit of jockeying over the exit curve and in towards the Tarzan hairpin, and they turn in and lovely big long sideways by Clements, and round goes Atherton. James Atherton spins, and now was he just put off there by the seemingly out of control Clements there. Clements having a huge moment himself, but managed to gather up the opposite lock, and unfortunately James Atherton in the black number 6 car loses it and spins out of that position. He's got it all to do again as we see number 38 John Killer Kinghorn sneaking through and getting a good position there. Keep your eyes on John Kinghorn, a quick man as the season progresses. Now can he get to the front of this one? our good friend Matteo has disappeared. So there he's at the back of the screen there, having a bit of another excursion. So just maybe getting a little bit too carried away, as Woods has got ahead of Smith, also in that battle. So Woods has got ahead of Smith, and that's also, you're going to be happy with that one, because he's managed to get past him. We've lost the other white car, which was number 74. Sam Gendy has disappeared from that battle. So Sam Gendy, we'll catch up with him in a minute, hopefully. But Alex Roberts also trying to get a pass on Sam Woods, or Sam Smith, as he comes back up towards chicane. But Simon Woods, our onboard camera mounted man, he will have a nice clear bit of track in front of him now. There won't be too much for him to be looking at, but they're going to have to watch as well, because in the background lurking is Chris Evans in the number 33 car, as Roberts accelerates out off the hairpin and heads away to click off another lap. It's a shame we missed out what happened to Matteo, but I'm pretty sure it would have been something spectacular. That lime green car, we can see him coming into view now. The lime green car, who is one who is definitely going to have to be watched. A couple of bigger numbers would be nice for all our viewers at home and people standing in the grandstand, but there he goes through turn one. Pushed hard as well by Sam Gendy. Now, something has obviously happened with those two guys, because they have both dropped further back. Oh, it was into the pits. Into the pits comes 66, and that is John Greeny. John Greeny with the lonely drive down Rockingham's pit road here. Now, there's something wrong with that. The mechanic awaits him coming into the pit, so what a shame for him. As this new battle comes towards us here, this will be John Coburn-Evans, JCE with Gendy and Scipione all behind him. Not in that particular order for much longer, I have got to say. John Coburn is going to really have to get a wriggle on here, because these guys, we know that Scipione not going to wait. That's for sure, as he cuts the grass through the infield, through the famous piff-paff bit of Rockingham, and he looks up the inside. Has he made the move stick? No, it's well covered from Evans there, who's already lost his bumper as well. So it shows you just how close this MX-5 racing is just now. Back through Gracelands towards the Tarzan hairpin, meanwhile, we see that Roberts has got past Sam Smith as well. So Sam Smith just dropping back a little bit in the number 31 car. Just a little bit out of sync just now is Sam Smith. But there you see the number 77 car fighting and sawing away the steering wheel. As Scipione thinks he can now get him on the way in towards chicane. Unfortunately, he's on the wrong side. He has a jink back to the inside. There's a bumper lying on the track. So that will be Evans' bumper lost at the chicane. And as we speak, though, Roberts has got past Sam Woods. So Simon Woods, I should say. So Simon Woods is going to start giving us some cracking onboard shots again as we come through the Rockingham. Oh, the last lap board out as well. More importantly, the last lap board was out there as we come through turn one. And just listen to those cars. Absolutely flat out through turn one at Rockingham. Now, is he going to have a look at the Dean hairpin? Woods positions himself on the outside. He's maybe thinking about the cutback here as he turns in. Oh, a little bit oversteer. Just going to kill his momentum. He just turned in, and just when you don't want it, the car jumps sideways underneath Simon Woods. Now, can he get back towards the inside for the next corner? No, it looks like Roberts is just managing to hold him off, and Simon Woods would have had a plan in his head there, but unfortunately that little bit of turn and oversteer, what you really don't want, has just cost him that little bit of time, and you can see Roberts has got his head down and just cracked enough of a gap now. But meanwhile, speaking of enough of a gap, how does 12.7 seconds or 12.6 seconds last time round sound? That sounds not bad to me as a race driver. And here he comes, it's number 88. It's JJ Clements, Johnathan Clements, in the blue number 88 car with the white wheels. He has been, well, not the masterclass JJ, because we did see a bit of an iffy start to the race. But he's come through, he's come the proverbial hot knife through butter. I know my good colleague Jake Sanson will be loving that comment just now as he come through the chicane for the last time, and this is a masterclass. Now look at the steering wheel, not much input in there, nice as you like, smooth as you like. He runs out up towards the Corby wall, then comes back to the inside. It's a bit of a weave, and it's a win for JJ Clements, and he will be happy with that one. And there will be a lot of eyebrows in the paddock going rather north just now, a lot of raised eyebrows with that one as the novice comes and wins, especially Tom Roche at the Blendini Motorsport Camp. He will be rather excited about racing this man. In second place, we are going to get Chris Hart and Paul Tucker on the road, but we're seeing a penalty for car number 22, and that's Chris Hart. So Chris Hart is getting a penalty. He's getting 3 seconds for not slowing down under waved yellow flags. So unfortunately, Hart drops behind Tucker. But Clements is your winner from Paul Tucker and Chris Hart. John Killer Kinghorn is fourth. Tony Liversidge, Alex Roberts, a good drive from Alex. Simon Woods gets seventh, with Smith dropping down to eighth. Chris Evans and John Coburn Evans.
quite an eventful race for you. Tell us about it.
Good fun. Second on the grid. Got into the lead after a bad start. I got a bit of clutch slip on the warm-up lap, so I had to really nurse the clutch. It's a new clutch and it's not running yet. So I was down to third. Got up to first after a couple of laps and held that for 5 or 6 laps. And then I was feeling quite comfortable. Thought I'd take it a bit easy. And then I looked in the mirror and saw this blue car that I hadn't noticed before catching me up a bit too quickly. And I noticed it on about the braking point for the hairpin that didn't brake. So spun off on the hairpin and lost a couple of places. Got one of them back, but I wasn't going to catch the guy in the blue car. He was going well. That was jolly good fun.
So wheel-to-wheel action in race 1, and guess what? It's only just begun. We're going to go for a quick break, and race 2 will be on its way. Don't go anywhere.
Some of the biggest upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
Welcome back to Rockingham. Race 2 is about to get underway, and we're going to let the drivers do all their talking on track.
Thank you very much, Jake. And this is race number 2. And Tom Roche from Brent Smith is your front row. Ed Gray and Scott Leach. Second row, Will Blackwell Chambers and Charlie Charman. With Gary Hufford and Simon Baldwin. 9th and 10th sees Preston and Edwards, with Simon Goddard in the 46 car and Alan Henderson alongside him. Mark Litherland and William Phillips, with Paul Bishop and Andy Coombs in 16th. 17th and 18th is O'Connor and Jackson. And here we go. We're on the grid. Starters order. In fact, we're away. Very, very quick turnaround there. And keep your eyes on the green car on the inside. That's Mr. MX-5. Our champion from last year is Tom Roche. And Tom Roche knows how to get the best out of these cars. And he is a quick man. They're 3 wide through turn 1 for the 3rd place there. 3 wide and just all managing to get through. Thankfully, there's no contact as the time we come down towards the Dean Hairpin, and Simon Goddard's having a huge movement down the inside in the 46 car. The Blink Motorsports car, he's down the inside. He's made a good, clean couple of passes there, and there's no contact. So well done, Simon. That's very, very good there. Goddard will be happy with that one as they all fan out behind him as they come through the infield section of Rockingham. Somebody spins. Whoa, how did he not get hit there? That was a very, very big moment there. Difficult for everybody to miss that car, and thankfully they did. But at the front is Roche. Roche is absolutely just disappearing with this one, and he's getting a lot of hassle. I'm going to say he's not going to get it easy because Charman's a quick man and he's not far behind him. We've also got Brett Smith in there, but Tom Roche in the lime-ish green car. I'm saying lime-ish green, but he comes in towards Gracelands just now and gets through. He's already got a good gap over these guys of Smith in 2nd place. And Smith's now under attack. You see him defending as he comes towards Tarzan, but it's further back, it's up the inside. And everybody actually not having a look at the inside here. A few people thinking about it, but nobody doing it. Scott Leach as well in the car with the big tongue on the front of it, which is a kind of Rolling Stones-esque car. But they're all just following in line of stern just now as Smith leads the 2nd place gaggle of cars in through the chicane. And you can see the anti-corner cutting measure curbs there, the big green raised curbs. The guy's just lifting and skimming a wheel around the front of those the curbs. And they lead back out onto the start-finish straight for this lap. Baldwin down there in 5th place just now. A good run for Simon Baldwin as well. He'll be quite happy with that in the 48 car. Just listening to those cars go through the first turn here at Rockingham is absolutely fantastic. If only they kept on going round for the whole lap like that, I'm pretty sure these guys would love to give it a shot. But Ed Gray on board, going up the inside of Goddard. Good move, Ed Gray in the white car there, just gets alongside and nice, clean, as you like move, straight out of the Simon Goddard kind of book. Just what he done there, a little cheeky look over towards him as they come out the corner there. Absolutely fantastic. All we needed was a little wave from Goddard. Goddard's on a hiding to nothing coming through that one, and he has to back out of that one because that was going to be a bit of a run out of road. And really, Goddard's going to have to do something or he's going to lose another position here. We've already seen Ed Gray get past this trio of cars and disappear up the road. We can just see the white speck in the distance now. He's gone, stretching himself in the car there is Simon Goddard. He knows it's really game time, it's now or never, and he's going to have to get a move on because here comes the incoming Alex Preston in that yellow car. But having said that, Alex Preston is not getting it easy because, well, Blackwell Chambers is hanging in there in the blue car with the green wheels, the number 43 car. Leachy looks like he's got the better lap speed overall, and he has pulled away now. But once again, we go back on board. We would like a rearward facing camera as well. That's a good idea, so we can get a forward and a backward image as they come in towards the chicane there. Goddard goes down the gearbox. He's got to get a good exit from this corner, because if he does, that could set him up to get an overtaking pass on the main straight. If he gets in the slipstream, he was a little bit too keen on the apex of the last corner there. Just dropped the wheel over the inside, and if anything, that gave him a little bit of oversteer just after that. So he's not capitalised as much as he would like to have, and Blackwell Chambers has actually got back past Preston. So that's a bit of a shot, but Preston there right in the toe. Chambers goes to the inside, Preston goes to the high side as they head towards the Dean hairpin. And who's going to make this one stick? As Jake said at the beginning, we're going to let the drivers do all the talking on the track, and they're absolutely on it right now. Well tipped, Jake. These guys race hard, they race clean. Good affordable racing from the MX-5 Championship, and the BRSCC is one of the best clubs in Britain you can be involved with. Here at Rockingham today, this beautiful sunny April. Maybe a little bit of a chill in the air as the whole country's a little bit chilly just now, but these guys are making hay, as the saying goes, while the sun shines as they come through the piff-paff section of the track. And Simon Goddard still looks at the rear of his teammate, but here he comes, it's Tom Roche. Tom Roche has not bridged a gap, he's increased his lead throughout the race, and now sitting at 7 seconds, this lead. Tom sits extremely low in the car. He is the man behind Blendini Motorsport, and he is the owner of Blendini Motorsport, and he is a very, very good driver. As we go back on board with Preston into the Tarzan hairpin, we can see Preston with a good armful of steering lock as he goes through there. But here comes the number 1 Blendini Motorsport Mazda MX-5 out of the chicane up towards the outside retaining wall for Tom Roche as he accelerates hard towards the start-finish line for one more lap to get round here. It's just all about clicking off the laps now. He's got Brett Smith just over 7 seconds behind him, and if anything, he can almost afford to knock that race pace back just that little bit and almost save the car. But we know Tom Roche isn't like that, and he's going to keep his foot hard in it all the way through this race. We are absolutely guaranteed. As a little bit of oversteer from the number 23 car there, but he manages just to hold that. The white and red car there, and also the 117 car. That's Dan O'Connor coming through and clicking off another lap. It would be good if we could catch back up. Well, here's Ed Gray. It'd be good if we could catch back up with the battle behind Ed Gray. It looks like Scott Leach has actually managed to get away quite handsomely from Charman and the Goddard battle. We've got to take our hat off to Ed Gray as well in that white number 14 car. He has fought his way all the way through that pack behind him, and he's got away and he's got himself in some clear traffic now, and we'll go on board with the man himself. He looks very, very relaxed in this car. A nice apex here, runs right over the exit curb, hasn't really put a foot wrong. If anything, he just needed a little bit of a better start, and he could have probably hung in. Looking at race pace, he could have possibly hung in there with Brett Smith and also Tom Roche. As he comes through Gracelands towards the Tarzan hairpin, he'll be kicking himself just for maybe not being that aggressive at the start and not getting the greatest first couple of corners. But you've got to watch, because you can You can make everything up in a one-make series at the first couple of corners, but you can also lose so much. And if you lose too much time at the first corner, you have then too much of a fight back through the field, as Gray has shown to us. As the Blendini car once again comes through, sounds absolutely terrific, and he heads towards the start-finish line to click off another lap for us and goes underneath the last lap board here at Rockingham. So this is it for Tom Roche. It's the last lap of the race. It's 23 and 123, sorry. Edwards and O'Connor still glued together coming through there, as they'll be going on to their last lap in just a minute once they get through this chicane, but they're still locked in a good battle here, and that's Baldwin as well. Simon Baldwin, something's obviously gone a little bit Pete Tong for Baldwin. He's found himself all the way back down in 15th position there, so he will be ruining a mid-race mistake as well, as he comes through with the old red mist in front of him and the red MX-5 off O'Connor in front of him. Red rag to a bull. Can he get a good toe through this first corner as he goes underneath the last lap board now? Coming past his own hauler unit though, past the Blendini Motorsport trailer in the background, it is Tom Roche. That car sounding absolutely gorgeous. The little well put together car, you've got to say it's a very good, well run, close knit team, with possibly some of the best drivers in the paddock in that team in the Blendini Motorsports. As he comes through Graceland, but Baldwin is still all over the back of O'Connor, and he's not giving up, is he? Not at all. Simon Baldwin not happy being down in 15th position right now. 14th ahead of him is O'Connor, and in 13th is Edwards, as they come back through the middle part of the track as well. The track part which is called Piff Path. Get the apex curb on inside, just clip the one that they go over there, and then head back down into this ever tightening left-hander. But here he comes. It's Tom Roche, number one, over the first curb, clips the second curb, just goes to clip the third curb here at Rockingham for the last time in race number 2, and heads towards the outside retaining wall, and it's going to be a good 7-second lead and a win for Tom Roche, driver number 1 in the Blendini Motorsports car. In second place we see him coming through, and he's delighted with that one as he heads towards the apron. It's Brett Smith, and an equally well deserved third place for Ed Gray. A really good drive for Ed Gray to come through the pack there, and Scott Leach comes home in fourth place with the Rolling Stones tongue up the front of his number 13 car. But what can you say? Tom Roche shows us just exactly how it is done. And he comes round and takes the applause of the marshals, a little wave at the cockpit of that number 1 green car, and he will be happy with that one. 6.9 seconds was the winning margin at the end, and I have to say I think Tom probably knocked that off just that little bit as he was going round in the last lap. Nice seeing the car behind you, Brett Smith, in your mirrors in the distance. And that is race number 2 at Rockingham. Tom Roche wins with a comfortable 6.9 second lead from Brett Smith and Ed Gray. Scott Leach, Charlie Charman, Simon Goddard and Alex Preston, with Will Blackwell Chambers, Alan Henderson, and in 10th place, lovable number 45, Gary Hufford.
So Tom, an excellent start to the season.
Yeah, brilliant. Good qualifying, car felt good. Again, the guys behind battled a little bit at the first lap, let me get a little bit of a gap. I had new tyres for qualifying, so sort of halfway through that race they came good, and the car felt a bit better and managed to put a little bit of a gap, and yeah, it was a good start.
Now Rockingham, quite an iconic circuit, quite unique as well, left-handed circuit and also banked. What difference does that make to your racing compared to these normal national tracks?
Not a great deal, to be honest. It's more the surface around Rockingham is quite low grip. But in the MX-5s, that's brilliant because you haven't got a massive amount of power, so low grip is good, the car slides around nicely, and I really like the track.
So entertaining racing right up to the checkered flag. 2 down, 2 to go. There's more coming up, so stay right where you are.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So Dan O'Connor is on pole for this one with Simon Baldwin alongside him, with Andy Coombs in the yellow 36 and Joshua Jackson in 4th. William Phillips, Alex Roberts, Simon Woods and Sam Smith, who have been glued together, and then a couple of Evanses, Chris and John Coburn. It's going to be an interesting race, this. Dan O'Connor on the front row will be desperate to try and get a good start away here, but it's so close in these MX-5 races. Let's hope that Josh Van Hook can get a better race in this one, as we see the revs slowly starting to rise now, and it's all about O'Connor in that orange car on the left. Can he get a good jump down towards the first corner here and keep it absolutely flat stick through that corner, and away they go. It's a good start. He's actually might have bogged down a little bit. It looks like Baldwin has the better start on the blue car with the white stripes, but no, it's O'Connor who holds his line, and Coombs goes up the inside in the yellow 36 on the apron and almost down onto the retaining grass here, and he's getting squeezed again as Baldwin has none of it, as O'Connor holds the position in towards the first corner, the Dean Hairpin, but no, up the inside goes Simon Baldwin. An extremely forceful manoeuvre there on Dan Connor. Dan Connor getting shown no mercy as Coombs doesn't force him off the track but doesn't give him much in the way of room, and that's really hurt O'Connor as he come out of the Dean Hairpin, and he's dropping positions left, right and centre as we see them going through there. And a bit unfortunate. Yeah, we're under screeching in the background. There's tyre noise and it's Greeny, and the yellow car goes off there. Bit unfortunate for John Greeny there, number 66. Bit of a spin and front end damage, front corner damage there, so obviously a little bit of contact with another MX-5 out there. Well, it didn't take too long for it to kick off, did it? It didn't take long at all as Alex Roberts goes round further down as well. Somebody else jumps out of it mid-pack there. Number 77 getting right across the track. That was JCE, John Coburn Evans there, and he's very, very lucky not to be collected by the rest of the field as they all take evasive action. And the rest of them are now going through Gracelands in towards the Tarzan Hairpin. But at the front is Simon Baldwin. Simon Baldwin has made the leap to the front. An unfortunate pole sitter, Dan O'Connor, all the way down now in 4th position, and he will not be happy with that at all. Showing absolutely no respect from these guys early on at the start. But it's MX-5 racing, it's always going to be close, and Baldwin leads as they come out of the chicane for the first time of Asking, with Andy Coombs absolutely right on the back bumper of that car, the yellow 36 car. He is possibly just in the right area to start picking up a toe, and he might get a good slipstream as they come through the first corner here and head towards the Dean Hairpin for the first time of Asking. We'll keep our eyes firmly on that battle as they go round there, and you could hear the little cars absolutely flat stick as they come towards Dean Hairpin. But no, Baldwin holds it. He is far enough in the lead, doesn't need to worry about defending, and try as Coombs may to catch up on the brakes, it is not to be. So we dive back into the pack and we pick up with 74, and we also pick up with Matteo. So that's Sam Gendy and our good friend Matteo, who has been in all sorts of wars. But he's all action. That lime green car brings plenty of action, and we do love it. As we pick back up for the battle for 3rd place. This is the last step on the podium. This is a hard-fought podium spot, and look, O'Connor's on the inside now, and I think this time it looks like he might have enough space and speed. No, he doesn't. You can see that, or has he now? Yes, he has a good overlap. Is he brave enough on the brakes? Is Dan O'Connor brave enough? Is he going to have a little look over? Yes, little look to the inside. Has he got him? He's ever so gentle turning in because Coombs comes back through. And you've got to take your hat off to Andy Coombs. The guy is driving an absolute stormer here. He doesn't have the out-and-out pace. We're seeing that just now on the actual computer screens in front of us, that Coombs doesn't have the lap pace. He's a little bit slower than O'Connor, and he's a little bit slower than Jackson pulling away from him. But here, this time, O'Connor's going to have a shot going in towards the first corner. But Coombs, again, just puts that MX-5 in the right place. Is he going to let the car go high or low? Coombs keeps it tight to the inside, already defending for the Dean Hairpin. He looks like he's in the plumb position. O'Connor tries to go round the outside, and this will just be... Oh, Coombs goes a little bit too hot now. He's mid-corner, side by side again, though. Coombs on the better, more preferred side as they come up towards the next corner on the inside, and he is just not going to give this position up without a fight. He's going to run Dan O'Connor out towards the edge of the track, and a gentleman, Andy Coombs, says he gives him just a little enough space here. Any other racing driver would have had O'Connor over that curb and into the gravel trap, giving him no room. But Andy Coombs is driving a good one here. He's just got that MX-5 in all the places where Dan O'Connor is faster and able to get up with him. That little yellow MX-5, it's one of the widest things on the track right now. And let's hope the red mist doesn't start coming down in front of Dan O'Connor's eyes. Otherwise it's about to get pretty lively. Through Gracelands they come. Gentle turn into the corner. You can't jerk the steering wheel. It's such a fast corner if you do. You'll upset the balance of the car, but running right towards the edge of the track. in towards the Tarzan hairpin. And this is where O'Connor seems to be possibly a little bit stronger. The run through and out of there, as we've already left those two guys on. We're back up with our leader, who's nice and steady. Good apexes through there. Second place man Joshua Jackson now into view over the first curb, over the second curb. And it's been a lonely race for Baldwin, and apart from getting past a couple of cars to get second spot on the podium just now for Joshua Jackson, it's been a pretty lonely race for him as well, as they both come underneath the flag gantry on the main straight at the Rockingham Oval here, the super speedway. And through the first corner they go. Such a thrill to go through here in a car, get right down tight to the apron, and you can hear that little MX-5 absolutely flat out through there. Back up towards outside retaining wall. And yes, John Evans has now decided to come into the pit lane, and he comes in at warp speed. Now let's see, has he got a mechanic in the pit lane? Don't get done for speeding, John. Keep a nice steady pace down there, pal. Is there somebody to rip the bumper off? Yep, stop here, John, watch this. Teamwork at its best as we flick back towards the battle for third place, but I'm pretty sure they will remove that bumper and get JCE back out onto the circuit. So Coombs still defending very hard, not giving this third place in the podium up. The last step on the podium, not giving up without a fight as they go through the piff-paff area of the track there. I thought just for a minute there, I did hesitate. I thought O'Connor was going to go for a look up the inside, but it wasn't to be. Running out of time, running out of laps. Dan O'Connor is going to have to do something very quickly, or Andy Coombs is going to hold on to this spot, and it's going to be an extremely well-deserved podium, one would say, for Andy Coombs, as up towards the Tarzan here. But this is where O'Connor seems stronger. Coombs leaves a very late turn, and O'Connor needs to dive towards the inside roundabout now. He dives to the inside, he does. But Coombs is strong. He gets on the gas, runs out on the high line, and just doesn't let O'Connor get through. A good gear change from O'Connor there. He's back towards the outside. Coombs defends the inside line. There's no way for O'Connor to get through. Coombs is driving one of the canniest races we have seen. Gets an apex here. He's just slow enough where he needs to be. But this is where, if anything, O'Connor is a little bit stronger. Having said that, this time Andy Coombs gets good exit speed there. Runs up towards the outside retaining wall. And if he can hold O'Connor every time towards the line, he's going to keep that position. As we dive back into the pack and pick up with our good friend number 35, Matteo, and he's still locked in a battle with Sam Gendy in the white car as we come through the Tarzan hairpin. Oh, and just a little bit wide there, Matteo. You've got to stay at least 2 wheels at all time inside the white lines on the circuit, and that will get you a bit of a slap on the wrist if you're using too much of that, as Baldwin flicks through. We pick up with Jackson. In fact, we go on board with Dan O'Connor now, and Dan O'Connor is going to start to... Oh, he's having a look as they come in towards the tight right, and he's through. It's a good move. Now, can Coombs retaliate? He needs to get back straight away if he's going to. O'Connor tries to squeeze him, but it's not to be. Good move by Coombs. If you're going to get past, you have to repass straight away. And can he hold it through the piff-paff section? Yes, he can. Dan O'Connor will be absolutely livid in this car. Good, clean overtaking by these guys. Now, can O'Connor have another lunge as they come in towards the infield section of the Rockingham circuit? No, he can't. Andy Coombs, well done. He runs a little bit wide there. Has he had to get out the throttle? Is he going to have to defend as they come towards Graceland? That could be where the position change is going to happen. But meanwhile, back at the front, it's this man who turns through the Tarzan hairpin. Number 48, Simon Baldwin. Making this one look pretty easy at the front, guys. You're going to have to agree with that. But we go back into the action-packed. Coombs defends it to the Tarzan hairpin, and he gives absolutely no room to Dan O'Connor, just forcing him and showing him the edge of the circuit there. Good clean racing, but very hard racing for that last step on the podium as Simon Baldwin comes out. We don't want to see Simon right now, we want to see the O'Connor and Coombs battle. As out with the corner he comes, up towards the checkered flag, and it's Simon Baldwin who takes a well-deserved win. Second place is going to be Jackson, but it's going to be a drag towards the line, and O'Connor sideways. Coombs goes high. Now, has O'Connor got something in his sleeve here? Has he got a better gear change? He's alongside, and it's going to be Dan O'Connor who takes the third place and the last step on the rostrum, and he does it on the last lap of the last corner. Absolutely brilliant. He'd been planning that possibly all the way through the race, and he kept us hanging all the way through there. So what a good move by Dan O'Connor. A well-deserved third place in the podium, and you got to feel sorry for Andy Coombs. Well, as I catch my breath from that one, a fantastic race for Simon Baldwin, winning by 5.4 seconds, or 5 seconds from Joshua Jackson, O'Connor and Coombs together, with Alex Roberts, Sam Smith and James Atherton. Josh Van Hook finishes the race from Woods and Hughes in 10th.
Well, Dan, third position. That was an epic last lap fight there.
Yeah, it was good. You know, it's tough out there, but it's the same for everyone at the end of the day. It was good. It was good, tough, but I didn't think I'd get him, and I think there was a cheeky lift at the end there, but I'll take the third place. I'm happy with that.
Is it quite slippery out there, the surface then?
It is. It's slippy, but you know, we're on the same tyres. It's the same for all of us. So, but I've noticed, especially from yesterday, it's a bit, because the heat's come up, it's a bit more slippy, but especially at the front end, you know, through the mid corner. But I can't complain. The boys at Cam Racing and Top Oars have done a fantastic job on the car, and I'm chuffed with that. Third place. I'm happy with that.
Down in Parc Ferme, and I've found the winner, Simon. Not a bad drive, sir, really.
Yes, yeah, all went according to plan, so very happy with this afternoon. A few problems yesterday, so it's made up for it.
So in terms of a weekend, is this one that gets your season off to a good start?
Well, not really, no. The idea was to actually do a little bit better yesterday, but unfortunately race 1 in Group A turned into a spin which put me to the back, so hence why I'm in Group B race this afternoon. So, but I can't grumble, it's a win's a win, so all good.
So what lessons can you take from here going into Croft?
Well, yeah, I think our car setup wasn't very good yesterday as well, so I probably wouldn't have done very well in Group A, I think, after all. So we'll make sure we get it right when we go to Croft.
That's the right attitude. Enjoy the win while you got it.
Thank you, yes, I will.
3 races down, and there's only one more chance for someone to stand on this top step of the podium at the end of race 4. Stay tuned, it's coming up.
Some of the biggest upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
So here we go, let's see the grid for the final race. It's Roche from Smith with Gray and Leach, Charlie Charman and Simon Goddard with Alexander Preston and Will Blackwell Chambers in 8th. 9th and 10th is Henderson and Hufford with 111 Mark Litherland and Paul Bishop. Callum Edwards is 13th with GG Clements 14th. Paul Tucker's 15th and Chris Hart's down in 16th. This is going to be a cracking race. Let's see how this one unfolds for us, and we just wait for the revs to rise up and the cars to make their way down towards the first corner. Away they go. It's a cracking start from Tom Roche in the Blendini Motorsport car, as we would expect, and he cuts across the front of everybody to get a really good searing line through the first corner. Second place is Smith. Brett Smith is under all sorts of pressure from the entire field, though, as they come through turn 1 at Rockingham and head towards the Dean Hairpin as we go on with Alex Preston. Preston diving up inside, quick couple of checks in the mirrors just before he goes in. Everybody seeming to behave themselves just now. Having said that, who's that on the high wide and handsome line as they go through the Dean Hairpin back up towards inside? But Roche leads from the front from a sideways Smith on the turn in there, and it's Goddard who's got himself up to third place. Simon Goddard in the red 46 car, and that's a good move from Goddard. He'll be quite happy with that one in the Blink Motorsport car, just ahead of a whole train of cars. Difficult to pick up and eyeball them all just now, but up the inside, just a late move there. Very late. Was that young Preston? I think it was Alexander Preston. But we'll make sure we get a proper identification when the cars come closer towards us. But Tom Roche has been reeled in over this lap by Brett Smith. Tom Roche is going to have his work cut out for him this time. He's not going to have it all his own way as they come through. And you can see these guys trying very hard in the early laps. And Roche is under attack, and under heavy attack by Smith in the blue number 39 car, as is Goddard. As we just see that flicking out of our view as they come through the Tarzan hairpin and head back up towards the chicane. Now this is going to be interesting. We're going to see if Brett Smith can hold in race distance with Tom Roche. Roche is Mr. MX-5 in this paddock, as we've seen that for a couple of years now. Gets good line through the chicane there, and back towards the inside. These two have already gapped and pulled away from a sideways Goddard there. Goddard looked like he was sideways going through the last apex of the chicane. That's going to hurt his speed down the main straight here as they come towards us, and Goddard is under heavy assault now. Heavy assault as they come through the first corner. Charlie Charman's in there as well. That's Goddard's teammate. But we are focusing on Tom Roche as he heads in towards Dean Hairpin. Smith coming from a long way back there, and he's having a look. He's having a couple of thinks about that one. But he decides better off it in the end as Roche comes through. Roche is a little bit wide, if anything, there. A little bit wide, and didn't really give himself much of a chance. It's Ed Gray. It's those lime green wing mirrors that give it away in third place just now. And that's Ed Gray. Now remember, Ed in his first race had to come all the way through that pack, and we should remember that white number 14 car, because he had to fight all the way through the pack, and now he has got to the front of that pack very quickly in this race. Can he get on terms with Roche and Smith, because these guys are driving the wheels off these cars at the front here? You can see them, they sit very differently in the car. Smith sits quite high, Roche sits very low down. But keep your eyes on that white car in third place, who's got past ahead of Simon Goddard, because Ed Gray is a quick man. Lap times on the last lap were pretty similar in the front two guys, but there was a bit of a drop back off pace for the guys in third, fourth and fifth. Henderson, Charman, Leach and Hufford with Blackwell Chambers that we want to try and pick up on, because that is where there is a battle raging in this, the final race for the MX-5s. So is Tom Roche going to be gunning for lap times? Is he just going to try and control this one? We shall be finding out soon as Ed Gray kicks up a little bit of dust there in third place. We finally see Ed, and it looks like Alex Preston has also pulled away from the ensuing mayhem that was behind him of Goddard, Henderson and Charman. Tarzan Hairpin, not long left in this race now, and Brett Smith really is going to need a miracle, or possibly a bit of mechanical failure on this man's part. As in towards the chicane comes Tom Roche again. Let's watch him through here. Nice and smooth as you like. And here comes Smith, still using a little bit of that hot dog curb. And we get back on board with Charman. And Charman is looking ahead. That will be Henderson he's looking ahead at now. Alan Henderson, who is all over the back of the Blink Motorsport car of Simon Goddard. As we see them coming through there, keeping it neat and tidy on the exit. Now, Alan Henderson, well, he's had a quiet-ish weekend up until this point, and he's thrust himself right into the limelight now, because he's all over the back of Goddard as they come through the first corner. I was just trying to listen to them to make sure they were all flat there, and yep, he's getting a good toe. He goes on the high side as Goddard goes defensive. Charman's giving us the on-board view as we see them coming in towards the Dean Hairpin. Charman tries to catch up. Goddard's going to keep Henderson on the high side. Henderson is going to try and cut back on the inside, but again it will put him to the wrong side. Is he going to try and have a dive up the inside on this next one? No, because Goddard, you can see him as defensive, but he's not defensive enough. Up the inside comes Henderson. There's a little bit of contact. Henderson holds a beautiful little four-wheel drift there, but in turn Goddard's now defending as Charman comes round the outside of Henderson as they come towards the fifth path section of the track. And has Charman got it? No, Henderson's still there, but they're going to be side by side through fifth path, and that just does not work, gentlemen, as over the inside apex curb goes Henderson, but up the inside goes Charman, and he takes the position back. Good bit of driving there. He could see what was happening in front of him, and he set himself up nice and neatly there. Henderson in the rearview mirror as Charman's having a good watch of Henderson and seeing where he's going to go. Henderson's got a good run as they come into Gracelands, but not to be. And that was all done at the Dean Hairpin for the move in towards the Dean Hairpin and out of the Dean Hairpin. And up the inside again into the Tarzan Hairpin comes Henderson on an absolute mission there. A mission, I should say. Good move, but can Charman do the famous cut back as they come into the hairpin? He gives him absolutely no room, runs him right out towards the edge of the track, but Henderson is in the prime seat. He's on the inside as they come up towards the chicane, and he holds him on the brake and he controls the corner. Good move. Alan Henderson is sideways on the corner entry for Charlie Charman, and we just watch these guys come through now, because this is giving Scott Leach, who's behind these guys, just that little bit of hope. If they keep battling, it's going to compromise their speed. And that's a little bit of hope for Scott Leach with a big tongue hanging out the front of that MX-5. But here he comes out of the Dean Hairpin. It is Blendini Motorsports, Tom Roche. We keep saying this, I keep going on about it. He is the class of the field. And Brett Smith has kept him honest. We have to say that. I've got to take our hat off to Brett Smith. He's kept him honest. The fastest lap of the race was just done by Tom Roche there, a 1:47.660, and that was the quickest lap of the race, because Brett Smith's was 47.9, and he done that in the third lap of the race. So it's taken Tom Roche a little bit to get into the rhythm of the race here, but he's now doing 47.6s and pulling away. But Brett Smith has kept him honest. We've got to say that. Just needs to get that little bit more car performance so he could be right on the back of that Blandini Motorsport #1 MX-5. As Tom comes up towards the Tarzan hairpin, neat and tidy as you like, carrying the #1 plate and displaying it with pride in the BRSCC Mazda Championship, the MX-5 Championship. And just clicking off the laps as he goes around here. He'll have a big smile underneath that RI crash helmet, and that big wavy curly hair will be starting to get a little bit warm, we would have thought. But we'll look forward to getting a good post-race interview from Tom Roche after this race with our very own Jake Sanson down there in the pit lane. So out of the final corner, heading towards the starter's gantry, and there it is. It's 2-2 for Tom Roche. He takes a checker flag, and second place for Brett Smith. A lonely race for Ed Gray, who comes home in third place in the white car, and it's young Alex Preston in fourth place. And who's going to get the fifth place? Who's it going to be? Coming over the line just out our sight, it's actually Simon Goddard. We see Goddard takes it. He'll be well happy with that in the Blink Motorsport car. But what a finale here at Rockingham that was. Your winner and Mr. Mazda once again, Tom Roche in the Blandini Motorsport car from Brett Smith, Ed Gray, Alex Preston and Simon Goddard. Holds off Alan Henderson, the hard-charging Henderson from Charlie Charman, Scott Leach Hufford and Blackwell Chambers.
So the last race of the day has fallen to Tom. You've done a good job out there, haven't you, sir?
It's a good weekend, yeah. I mean, the car feels just like the end of last year, really. It's brilliant. Massive thanks to everyone who's helped me out at Blandini Motorsport and all the other guys. Car feels perfect. As long as I don't make mistakes, then yeah, it seems to be going well.
I suppose the question all the other drivers want to know the answer to is, was it as easy as you made it look?
Like I said, the car is good, but you know, as long as you drive it well, then I mean, Brett stayed with me for at least half the race. I think his tyres got hot, and I could see fast corners. He just couldn't quite stay with me towards the end, but I'm sure it'll be closer in the next races.
Okay, well done, Tom. I'm going to chat over with Brett in second place. Is it a case of so near yet so far for you, or are you quite satisfied with second place?
I'm pretty happy with second qualifying, 2 second places with one day of pre-season testing. I kept Tom honest, fairly honest sort of thing, the first 2 races of the season. It's just learning to manage the tyres a bit better, learning them a bit better generally, and working my setup around that. So yeah, I think I can keep him honest a bit longer, I hope.
Okay, well hopefully there's a win for you next time. I'll move quickly over to Ed in third position. Ed, hi. It's not bad going, a podium on the first weekend of the season.
Yeah, 2 podiums, got 2 thirds. Those boys are just a little bit ahead, but I made it hard work again like I did yesterday, but came back through the field. Car's got pace, and I'm sure it won't be long before I'm battling those 2. I'd just like to thank BS Motorsport for putting the car together really well, and Bardell for their oils, and I'm really looking forward to Croft. I think it could be a good, really fast, good season.
Well done, Ed. We hope to see you there as well.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, that's all the action from today's racing at Rockingham, and it really has been a fantastic season opener. We'll be back next time at Croft, so join us then. From all of us here, goodbye.